Hey everyone, welcome back to AndyDemos. Today I'm taking a look at the float dual filter from Old Blood Noise Endeavors. As you just heard, you can use these filters independently or stacked together in some really exciting ways. So let's take a closer look. Old Blood gives each side of float an identical filter section with a host of powerful features, including low, high, or bandpass filter types, and the ability to set the minimum and maximum cutoff frequency, not to mention resonance for those extra synthy sweeps. You can decide whether each side is a static filter or moving, and one that is either guided by an expression pedal, an LFO, or a dynamic envelope. When the filter is moving, you can select 6 wave shapes from sine to square all the way to random, and these shapes apply to the envelope modes as well, a great way to escape those cliched tie-dye riffs and explore new pathways. Best of all, the ins and outs on each filter channel allows for parallel or series routing in either mono or stereo. These high-quality effects are hand-built in the USA, and you can find complete specs at oldbloodnoise.com. Let's just start with a basic wide filter sweep. So notice I'm not using the envelope, so the sensitivity is straight up and down, and I'm just using a basic sine wave, and we'll just be playing with the low pass, high pass, and band pass toggle here, and of course the cutoff frequency with that slider. There's also a lot of output here with this volume knob. We could change that sweep with lots of things here, but let's just lower the cutoff frequency. So it's a warmer sound here, but we're kind of losing a little bit of the dry signal. So let's switch over to the next selection here, which is band pass. Add a little bit more resonance, and it's just a huge sweep now. It's kind of reminiscent of a classic synth. And now we could kind of control how far it goes into those lower frequencies with that momentary minimum and maximum switch. So to set the low, you just hold that momentary switch and set it. And then the high is just using it without that momentary switch. here's high pass, which you'll notice lets a lot of the guitar dry signal through. And while we're at it, let's change the wave shape and get more of like a tremolo sound. So as you can tell, it's almost like a harmonic tremolo or even like a phaser. So there's a lot to unpack here. Now let's get into the envelope modes. And then we're just going to be using the sensitivity and using that minimum and maximum switch to set our minimum and maximum rates. So there's the minimum. And here's the maximum. And depending on how you have the sensitivity, you could really just kind of find the sweet spot on how it's going to ramp. And while we're exploring envelope, let's just disable the LFO by rolling the rate down, and now we're just in that classic envelope filter zone. But like I mentioned earlier, you can change the wave shapes, not just from a standard sine, so it's really going to kind of behave in a different manner. So let's try out some of those other, more abrupt waveforms like a triangle. You can increase the resonance and it gets really quacky. So that's just the basics, and that's just one filter. So if you mix and match, you can get some really interesting combinations. So I'm going to start just stock, which is basically parallel. So you could blend in a little or as much as you want on each side. So let's just do a envelope while we're at it on the filter 1. And filter 2 I've set up for just a nice slow gradual sweep. Now let's have a little fun by syncing both filters. And you could actually have some subdivisions on the second filter, so they're not always the same speed, but they are in relation to each other. So I'm going to start with a slow, choppy filter on filter 1 on the right, and then filter 2 is actually going to have more of a resonant sound and be a lot faster. I've also put these in series, and this is easily done just by attaching a patch cable on the upper jack. So now they're really going to interact and run into each other. Let's try another example of them in sync, because you could get some really cool complex rhythms here. And here I'm just using them with the same speed, so no subdivisions on the second one, but they have very different wave shapes. I have a random one on filter 2. That's Float giving you a lot of possibilities with its dual filter design, and you can check it out and more unique designs from Old Blood Noise endeavors at oldbloodnoise.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for another Andy demo.